Hello, this is Lolly. Welcome back, everybody. I want to talk today about Catherine Pooler inks. When I had the privilege of going to Creativation this year, it was part of the highlight of my trip was meeting Catherine Pooler and her team. They were amazing people. Her booth was so gorgeous and just crafty, inspiring, and it just made you want to walk away and buy everything she had. Kudos, Catherine. Anyway, I want to explain a little bit about her inks because I hadn't had any before I went. And what she said is different about her inks is that they, first of all, she has them in color coordination sets. Like this is Life of the Party, and that's these that you will see here in my video. And they all go together, so you know that you can use any of these colors together and they will work together. And I was playing around. You can see I just left my mess here so that you could see. It was just fun. So Life of the Party, she has Spring Fling, which are more of a pastel colors, Paradise Found, and Zen Garden. And then besides those are the 4 foundation colors and the neutral collection. And so I was able to get this collection, playing with it, and I'm enjoying it. And I thought you would kind of enjoy to see the process and see what they're like. So they're very vibrant inks. Let me show you what I was playing around with. They blend well. They react to water. And you can emboss with them. And I haven't played with embossing, so I'm going to play with that now. But the other cool thing is that her ink pads are sponge. And so you might be used to, I always think of this sound when I'm stamping. So I grab an ink pad and I grab a stamp and we pound on it. Like that. I mean, how many times have you heard that sound, right? Or this way. So you don't do that with her pads because her pads are sponges. They are not hard, and so what she describes it as a little love tap to get the ink onto the cards. So what I want to do is play around. I have a little set of her stamps too. This is called cute. I don't know what the stamp set is called. It's called what? Just Lovely Notes Collection. So let's practice with this one here and make something. I just want to show you how well this inks up. Now, I also have gotten a few of her smaller acrylic blocks to try out, and I want to tell you, I'm already in love. These, it reminds me of an ice cube, but anyway, they're rounded on all corners, which I love because I have acrylic blocks, and some of them, they hurt my hands. They have sharp edges on them. It does have a grid on one side so that you can really line up your word stamps. And it also has this groove right along the center that it's really easy to hold, so just the thought there. But I don't have one of hers that is the right size for this wreath, so I thought I would get out my stamping platform here and use that. Okay, let's move that. And let's move this out of the way. I've got all these inks here to be cute, but they're in the way. Okay, wait, I have this set for the rubber stamp. I need to move this around to the clear side. And then I guess I'll use this line because I do want to use the stamps in this, oops, excuse me. I do want to use the inks that I have sitting out here. Now let's just back this off a little bit so that you can see it. And so instead of smacking it, I'm just touching it. And you can feel it's almost like a little bit of a suction because it grabs, the stamp grabs that ink. And I'm just making sure I went all the way around here. But it really doesn't take much. You can already see that it's coloring up well. And it's amazing. And so it's so tempting to over ink the stamp, and you don't need to. I can only see one little spot that I need to ink up, and that is right there. And again, just a little love tap, and I'm good to go, and it's perfect now. So let's get this back on here. And this is Lime Ricky. Okay, let's pull that off. I know this is a distraction, but it's just so cute. I hated to clean that up yet. Okay, I want to play around with this, and I see there's a little bow here that I think is adorable. And I want to use her block here. And I'm thinking, I see that there's what you can hang from the wreath is this heart or this star. And I think I want to do the bow with a heart hanging from it. So I will do this. And again, you can either ink it up this way, which I've already pushed it too hard in there, or you can turn it around and do it this way. Perfect. Take that off. Let's get that heart. Let's peel this all the way back off here. I want to get this heart. And let's ink this one up this way. Oops. That's all that's needed. And I want to hang that right from the center of that bow. And I can see I just missed just the very point of it. So let me get off camera and put my head over it. Perfect. Peel that off. And now there are, that's party dress here we just used. And I see this really cute birdie, and I think I want to use the aquatina. I'm trying to think. This one here, he's just standing up and he's having fun here. Let's use this little birdie right here. And again, I always think of it just like laying it on there is enough pressure. You don't have to push at all. Let's put him right there. Oh, that is a brilliant color. I mean, that's really juicy. She also recommends, when you purchase these, to get the ink refills for them right away. Okay, so I see there's a word stamp here I should probably use, and that just says wonderful. Let's add some Tutti Frutti to that. Wow, it just picks up the ink so beautifully. It's hard to explain, but you can see what that looks like. It's so pretty. And now, while I have this here, I want to just grab this, which I had the Tutti Frutti. I was already inking up something else. So I just want to get a little bit here and add some color into the card. And I've already got too much ink, I can tell, so it doesn't really take much, and I already pushed this too hard, so barely touching it. It's going to be a learning experience, but I'm loving how vibrant, how color coordinated and fun these are. So I just wanted to play around with doing this, and then play around with trying the embossing with it. Okay, now she said this embosses, which means that it has to stay damp long enough to support holding the embossing powder. And I need a piece of scrap paper under here. Okay, so I want to stamp something that's going to be bright enough to see the embossing, or solid enough. Shall we do that? Thinking. I know. It comes with this little berry thing here. Let's try that. Let's put some berries on my little wreath here. I have a spring wreath going on here, but let's try these berries anyway, and we'll use the party dress again. And I have some, oh my goodness, this is old embossing powder from when I used to sell dots. So let's do that and this, and hopefully the rest of this is dry enough that only these two things are going to hold the embossing powder. We'll see. Now, my preference is always to put my embossing powder away right away if I can before I turn on the heat tool so it doesn't blow this around my craft room. And it may be too that you need a different type paper. This is really cheap cardstock. Okay, so what this embossing powder is, it's clear with glitter on it. You can see the glitter right there, and it is shining, so it did emboss. Pretty interesting. So any really juicy, well, I think it was gooey ink pad would be good for embossing because it stays moist long enough and stays on the surface of the card long enough for you to emboss. So that's how that went. Really love it. Let's take a look at this again. So all I did was I used the aquatini on a sponge on the end, And then I came in with the Lime Ricky and moved over and blended it together. Then I came in with Tiki Torch and did this and blended over into the Lime Ricky. So it was these three here in this order. And then these ones here, these flowers, what I did was I just inked on cardstock like this, and then used a die cut right over it to cut out the different flower shapes here. And I used all of these here in making my flower. But anyway, very cute. And this is, by the way, one of Catherine Pooler's die cuts. I just think that's really pretty. So having fun here. And what I wanted to tell you is I do have a few, this set here is only these four here that I have one set. This is the exact set in my shop. It's the only extras that I have for sale. And so it's Something Borrowed, Flirty Fuchsia, Aquatini, and Party Dress. So thank you for watching. This is really some beautiful, beautiful, vibrant inks and fun products to work with. And I think you're going to love them too.